teachers, and classmates. Welcome to the 2014 6th grade Moving Up Day. My name is Jeremiah Choudhury. I would like for you to take a walk with me down memory lane. I remember my first day walking into school. The school looked so big and I felt so small. There were numerous kids walking around to get to their respective classes, and most of them much bigger than I was, and I had to strain my neck to look up at their faces. In the midst of the crowd and through all the surrounding noises, there was a gentle voice and a friendly smile that greeted me, and it soothed my nervousness. I later came to find out that it was my principal, Mrs. Hills, who is currently our headmaster. As I entered the classroom, there were many kids my height, for which I was so grateful. And to my delight, there was a table full of toys. I approached the table and began playing with the toys. And right next to me was a kid I met, who is now one of my best friends, Isaiah Corsteele. Each time Mrs. Hills walked into our classroom and saw us playing together, I remember her saying that her two favorite prophets were at play. It was me, Jeremiah, and Isaiah. My teachers were Mrs. Martin and Mrs. Dudek. In kindergarten, my teachers were Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Clemens. I began to read a lot of books, pretty much anything I could get my hands on. I was also very good at spelling. Mrs. Smith had made a lot of books for all the kids to read, and she made special books that were just a little harder, just so she could challenge me in my reading, for which I am so thankful. In first grade, my teacher was Mrs. Merzig. It was her first full year. I remember the Easter play that she did with us. I was the angel, and my mom made the costume. On the day of the play, I was so nervous, thinking that I might make a mistake. But later I thought to myself, I am the angel. I can't make a mistake, can I? After the play was done, Mrs. Merzig said I did a good job, and I knew I'd done well. In second grade, my teacher was Mrs. Sonikov. I enjoyed letting my creative skills get the best of me, and began to write a lot of stories in school, and even at home. Mrs. Sonikov said, "Don't be surprised if you see books in a bookstore written by Jeremiah." At this point, I'm still working on that. In third grade, my teacher was Miss Danova. I remember she used to play soccer with us. She was really good. As I am a soccer player myself, I enjoyed playing with her. In fourth grade, my teacher was Mrs. Zaloon. What I remember the most is that she used to give us candy whenever we got 105 on our tests. She also encouraged me in many ways. She highlighted one of my strengths, which was leadership. I remember she told me she sees a great leader in me someday. But she wanted me to think of how Jesus, as a young kid, was obedient, patient, and learned to be a great leader and teacher. In the same way, she encouraged me to be patient and learn the skills needed to be a great leader. I am certainly so thankful for her words of wisdom. In fifth grade, my teacher was Mrs. Herman. It was her first year. I remember we used to go outside to eat our lunch, and if you finished early, we would get extra time for recess, which I really liked. We also went through a program called DARE. I learned a lot about the dangers of smoking, alcohol, and drugs. We also enjoyed the special visitor who came during our graduation ceremony, the police dog who was well trained. This was also my first year in band. I began to play the trumpet. It was hard at first, but I'm glad I stuck with it. We also had to write a state report. My state was Virginia, and I learned a lot about it. Today, as I stand here in 6th grade, my teacher is Miss Cracky. I've certainly enjoyed being in her class. The fun part in this class was to earn, as she calls it, Cracky dollars. And at the end of each quarter, we would have an auction where we could buy anything that we wanted. We worked hard and we partied hard too. Whenever we had a holiday that we celebrated, we partied all day, and that was so awesome. One of the many projects we did was our country report, and I did it on Sri Lanka. After all the research I had done, I teased my mom that I knew more about Sri Lanka than she did. And guess what? She admitted that I did too. Once again, it was hard work, and I learned a lot about how to do in-depth research. I also learned how to make a presentation with pictures and illustrations on a whiteboard during our country fair, and also how to present it to the class during our oral report. Classmates, I'm sure we all have memory lanes we can walk down, but the most important thing is to look back and see how far we've grown and what heights we've reached. As we enter middle school, there will be numerous challenges we may have to face, but what is important is how we deal with them. I'm so glad I'm here in the midst of Christian brothers and sisters, and I know the most important lesson I have learned is the love of Christ. With Him, we can do all things as He gives us the strength. As long as we have Him in the center of our lives, we can face day-to-day challenges. This is certainly a milestone we have reached in our lives, and I want to thank all our families, friends, and faculty for all your prayers and hard work in helping us to learn and grow. But above all, for teaching us to walk in the ways of Jesus Christ. I am truly blessed and honored to be part of the school. Thank you, and God bless.